my God, Claire, not tonight. My husband laughed into the microphone. You're being paranoid again. The whole room burst into laughter while I stood there holding the knife to his birthday cake, smiling like a fool as my chest tightened, and I realized I wasn't the wife. I was the joke. My name is Claire Bennett. I'm 38 years old, and that night was supposed to be my husband's big 50th birthday party, but somehow I became the punchline. I work as a registered nurse at a local clinic. Nothing glamorous. Long shifts, sore feet, and coffee that tastes like regret after sitting too long on a warmer. In my family, I've always been the worrier, the cautious one, the one who asks too many questions. Daniel runs a small construction business, loud, confident, always the center of attention. For months, I'd been noticing things about his health that didn't sit right with me. The dizziness, the constant thirst, the way he rubbed his temples when he thought no one was looking. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. I understood medical charts. I understood patterns, and I knew when something was wrong. Everyone thought I was overreacting, dramatic, emotional, but I wasn't guessing. I was connecting dots they didn't even see. If you've ever been brushed off because you worry too much, you get it. Sometimes being observant gets labeled as being crazy. Subscribe if you've ever been underestimated for caring too deeply. Tell me in the comments, have people called you dramatic when you were just paying attention? And click hype if you believe trusting your gut matters. Let's get into it. Daniel insisted on a huge party at a rented community hall that smelled like lemon cleaner and overcooked buffet food. During dinner, he started joking about me checking his blood pressure at home. She Googles one symptom and suddenly I'm dying, he laughed. People actually clapped. I kept my voice steady. Daniel, your last lab results weren't normal. You need to follow up. He grabbed the mic again. See? Paranoid. Can't let me enjoy one night. His sister rolled her eyes. Claire, stop trying to control him. I explained I'd scheduled follow-up testing because his cholesterol and blood sugar were concerning. He stared at me like I betrayed him. You went behind my back? That's insane. The room went quiet. Forks paused midair. I felt every eye on me. Then our longtime family doctor, who'd been invited casually, stood up holding an envelope. Daniel, I was actually going to call you Monday, he said slowly, but this can't wait. After the party, the house felt different. Too quiet. The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound between us. Daniel shut the door harder than he needed to. You just love drama, he said, tossing his keys on the counter. You couldn't let me have one night? His phone kept buzzing, messages from his family. Mine lit up too. Let him live. You're suffocating him. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. For a second, I actually wondered if I had crossed a line. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I was tired from work. But then I opened his chart again. I replayed the symptoms in my head. Excessive thirst, tingling in his feet, headaches that made him sit down mid-sentence. The data didn't lie. Feelings can be messy. Numbers are not. A week later, I tried to log in to our shared bank account to pay the mortgage. Access denied. I thought it was a glitch. It wasn't. Daniel leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. I removed you for now, he said casually, until you calm down. I felt my stomach drop. Calm down. I pay the bills. He shrugged. You are unstable lately. I don't want you handling stress. Unstable. That word hung in the air like smoke. I checked his email later, something we both used for household stuff. 2 missed appointment reminders. Dates from months ago. He'd skipped them. When I confronted him, he didn't even blink. You're imagining things, he said. You always twist stuff. I froze. I know what I saw. I know what I read. But the way he said it almost made me question my own memory. Almost. At a small family brunch, he turned it into a performance. Pancakes, fake smiles, and his voice carrying across the table. "Claire's burned out from nursing," he told his cousins. "She's not thinking clearly." A few of them gave me pity looks. One aunt patted my hand. "Maybe take a break, sweetheart." I realized in that moment he was building something. A story. A version of me that sounded fragile and irrational. And if enough people believed it, it would become truth in their minds. I stopped arguing in public after that. I stopped defending myself. Instead, I got quiet. Very quiet. What they didn't know was that I document everything. It's muscle memory. As a nurse, I record symptoms, times, statements. I had copies of his lab requests, screenshots of appointment reminders, timestamps of calls where he said, "My vision went blurry today," and "My hands feel numb." I saved voice messages where he admitted feeling dizzy on job sites. I organized them in a folder on my laptop. Date, symptom, response, pattern. I also knew something bigger. His results weren't minor. His A1C levels were climbing fast. His blood pressure readings were edging into dangerous territory. This wasn't about winning an argument. It was life-threatening. And if he kept painting me as unstable, I was ready to protect myself legally and medically. I even spoke to a colleague about medical gaslighting in marriages. She listened quietly and said, "You're not crazy. You're being dismissed." That sentence steadied me. I wasn't paranoid. I was prepared. My ally became Dr. Rebecca Lawson, my supervising physician at the clinic. She's calm, sharp, and impossible to intimidate. She's seen patients ignore warning signs because of ego. After I laid everything out, she folded her hands and said, "Claire, this isn't about being right. It's about safety." That hit me. Safety, not pride, not control. She encouraged me to bring Daniel in for a formal consultation with documentation reviewed properly. No jokes, no microphones, just facts. Meanwhile, Daniel got bolder. "See, nothing happened," he bragged to a friend on speaker one afternoon. "She made a scene for nothing." He started dropping hints that I might need therapy. He said it lightly, like a suggestion. But it wasn't light, it was strategic. I quietly scheduled a formal appointment review under clinic protocol, paper trail, official. Dr. Lawson agreed to handle it personally. The tension built slowly, like pressure in a sealed container. Daniel believed he had already won. He thought the party was the climax. He had no idea the truth was about to corner him in a room with no audience to laugh on cue. The consultation room smelled faintly of antiseptic and printer ink. No balloons, no applause, just a desk, 3 chairs, and a blood pressure monitor on the wall. Daniel walked in first, shoulders back, that same smug half-smile. "You happy now?" he asked me under his breath before sitting down. Dr. Rebecca Lawson didn't react to his tone. She placed a thick folder on the desk and opened it slowly, calm, precise. "Daniel, we reviewed your latest labs," she began. "Your A1C is critically high. Your blood pressure readings are at stroke level." He let out a short laugh. "That can't be right." She turned the folder toward him and slid a chart across the desk. "These are your results from 6 months ago, and these are from last week." The line on the graph climbed steadily. No drama, just a clear upward slope. I watched his face change. The confidence flickered. "I feel fine," he said quickly. "She exaggerates." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't shake. I placed printed screenshots on the table. "You told me your vision blurred on the highway. I said your feet were numb at night. You said you felt dizzy climbing stairs." He stared at the papers, his own words staring back at him. Dr. Lawson continued, her voice firm now. "If you ignore this, you are risking kidney damage, nerve damage, possibly a stroke. This is not minor." The room felt colder, smaller. He tried one more time. "She worries too much." I met his eyes, steady. I didn't exaggerate. I tracked. Silence. For the first time since that party, he had no audience, no laughter to hide behind, just facts, just consequences. The same man who called me paranoid in front of 50 people was now gripping the edge of a desk, staring at numbers he couldn't charm away. Dr. Lawson folded her hands. You need immediate treatment, medication, diet changes, monitoring. We start today. And he nodded, not because he wanted to, because he had no choice. Treatment began that week, prescriptions filled, follow-ups scheduled. His family went quiet after Dr. Lawson explained the severity. The word paranoid disappeared from their vocabulary fast. A few of them sent apologies, short ones. Awkward. We didn't realize. Sorry if we misjudged you. But something in me had already shifted. I stopped shrinking in conversations. When he made jokes, I didn't laugh to smooth things over. When he dismissed my concerns, I didn't back down. I spoke clearly, directly. If he rolled his eyes, I let him. I wasn't fighting to be liked anymore. Whether my marriage survives long-term or not is still a question. Healing a body is easier than repairing respect. But I know this for sure. I trust myself now. I trust the quiet voice that notices patterns. I trust the training I worked hard for, and I will never let someone weaponize the word paranoid against me again. Have you ever been called dramatic or paranoid when you were actually right? That kind of humiliation sticks with you. Share your story in the comments if someone tried to make you question your own reality. Subscribe if you believe trusting your instincts isn't weakness, it's strength. Click hype to help this story reach someone who needs to hear it. Did this hit home for you? Like the video and tell me your thoughts below. Click hype so it finds others who felt the same. Your support really does make a difference.